Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Hilltop Sports Report. My name is Jumpin' Jack Carlson, your host, and this is episode 39 of the podcast. My very special guest on this episode is from the women's lacrosse program, Meg Lewis, a senior from Santa Fe, New Mexico. We thank you so much for tuning in. Without further ado, let's hit the music and start the show.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!
As I mentioned in my intro, Meg Lewis, the senior from Santa Fe, New Mexico, is my very special guest on this episode of the podcast. First of all, Meg, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so in 2 weeks, Meg, your senior season of women's lacrosse will start. Describe the emotions that you're feeling and the excitement that's rising for a program that's coming off of a program record win total last year with 13 wins in 2024.
Obviously, I'm super excited. I think that's the biggest emotion I'm feeling right now, but also that comes with a lot of nerves, especially with like a new conference this year and different team dynamic with people leaving and newcomers coming in, but I think we're all super excited and that's the biggest emotion.
Absolutely, and you said a lot there. Going into a new conference, so the Rams moved from the Women's Lacrosse Conference in the Midwest Conference over to the NACC. How excited are you to face some new competition and level up your game?
I'm super excited. I think there's going to be really good components of being in a new conference, new teams, and we don't know exactly what their level is, especially compared to us. And I think that'll be really good for us, like not underestimating teams, just going in and playing them the best we can.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy to have. And for you, as one of the leaders on this team, you entered the team as a two-sport athlete way back in the day. Let's start there and then go forward here into the present day. So you started here on the Hilltop as a volleyball player. You spent 2 seasons with that team before transitioning full-time over to lacrosse. You've played lacrosse now all 4 years. Describe that evolutionary process for you as an athlete on the Hilltop.
Yeah, so in high school I started playing volleyball like my freshman year, and I also played lacrosse freshman and sophomore year of high school, but I think my passion for volleyball was a little bit stronger back then, and so my junior and senior year of high school I decided to really commit to volleyball, and that's kind of how I ended up here. And then throughout my career here at Cornell, I noticed that playing 2 sports is just kind of a huge time commitment, and I kind of started thinking like throughout the career that I needed to kind of decide what I really wanted to commit to. You know, it's hard being in season like all year, and I really noticed that I didn't really have as much time to like lift as much out of season because I never was out of season. Like we were constantly training, and so we needed to like save the heavyweight lifting for like out of season, and so that just wasn't really an option for me. And then along with that, I was like trying to decide what I wanted to do for like what to study here at Cornell, because I didn't come in knowing what major I wanted to do, and so I don't know, that was kind of my decision making in transferring from lacrosse and volleyball to just lacrosse.
Absolutely. And What exactly is it about the sport of lacrosse that allows you to excel so much? You've been fantastic here on the Hilltop. You started all 50 of your career games, scored 35 career goals. You've just had a fantastic time out there on the lacrosse field. What is it about the sport that appeals to you and allows you to access your full potential?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is the team dynamic. I really love our team. Like every girl on our team just has a very special place in my heart. And on top of that, like I think the dynamic of the environment, like I love just being outside and all the weather conditions and just running down the field. It's just like the most wonderful feeling ever.
Yeah, and you make a great point there. The weather in Iowa is not necessarily friendly in those February, March months. You guys have been practicing outside at times here in the month of January and going into February now as we record. What has that been like? And you said that gives you some sort of exhilaration. What is it about that Iowa wind, that Iowa chill that appeals to you?
I mean, it's pretty tough when we're in practice, but afterwards, like, you get back into the warm and you feel super accomplished. Like, not only are we doing pretty heavy conditioning, pretty hard practices, but it's tough weather conditions, so I think it really gives me a good, like, attitude on what I can accomplish.
Absolutely. And now let's go into some specifics from the team. Cece Zanoni, leading scorer from a year ago, she returns for her senior season this year. What exactly is it about her that allows her to excel with lacrosse too, similar to you and a lot of these players on the Cornell women's lacrosse team?
Yeah, she just has an insane amount of determination and drive. I mean, like, we go and do wall ball outside of practice all the time, and I think it's just really fun for us. Like, it's not just something that we like want to do, but we love to do it, and I think that's a really important part of it, because like I think some people just do the sport because it's where they're comfortable, or like it's what they know their whole life, but I think that's part of it for us. But also we just like, we love it so much, like it's so exciting. Like, I'm even excited for practice this afternoon, even though it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I get excited to do it every day.
That's fantastic. And you can tell with your team out there, when you watch them each game, you guys play with a lot of emotion and just passion for the game. It's just so wonderful to see.
Yeah.
And this next question that I have for you, you're uniquely qualified to answer. So 3 of the athletes on your team this year have transitioned over from women's soccer in the fall now to women's lacrosse in the spring. Describe how well they've been playing. Elisa Faye Moreno, Eva Ferenc, and Sabrina Ibanez. 2 of those 3 have not played lacrosse here on the collegiate level before. Mm-hmm. Describe those 3 and what they've brought to the team.
Yeah, so I would say Ava and Sabrina are in kind of a different spot than Ellie, because Ellie's never played lacrosse before, and she's just an athletic unit. Like, she came in and she's picking it up like nobody I've ever seen. It's like amazing and beautiful to watch. She's also determined. Like, I see her putting in the work all the time outside of practice and in practice. And then Sabrina and Ava, they just have like amazing, very natural transitions from soccer to lacrosse. I mean, I think the sports are kind of similar, you know, they're both outdoor running field sports. And I can tell Ava has a lot of really good background lacrosse knowledge. Like, she also has a wonderful attitude. Like, she's really good at picking her teammates up. The other day I made a mistake and she said, "Flush it down the toilet," and I was like, "You're right." Like, that's such a great attitude, and it really motivates me to like be there for my teammates the way she is. And Sabrina's also just a unit, you know, she's like, she knows how to work hard, put her head down. She actually just got an award for Teammate of the Week last week, and so I think that really shows.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
you can tell that you guys are a great unit together.
Yeah.
One thing that I did want to follow up on that I alluded to earlier in the podcast is that you're a senior on this team, along with 4 others and then a 5th year on the team this year. What has the leadership role been like for you, and what are some of the things that you hope to accomplish in that role this year?
Yeah, I feel like over the past couple years I've kind of been like leading up to this point of leadership, but now with Cece, Ilsa, and I being captains, I feel like I'm really stepping into that role. I feel a little more comfortable because we were kind of chosen to be that person for the team. And it's really exciting. I think our main goal is to try to bring the team together and like get people to work as hard as they can and have fun while they're doing it.
Yeah, and so from leadership on the team now to leadership on the coaching staff, Meredith Meyer has experienced so much success as the head coach of this women's lacrosse program. Mm-hmm. What exactly does she bring day in and day out that keeps you passionate about the sport?
Yeah, she brings a lot of wonderful drills. I mean, like at practice on Friday, she did a really good job of incorporating conditioning and lacrosse into the same drills. And those are my favorite, because if we're just conditioning, it can be kind of hard. But if we're doing it with the sport we love, it's like the easiest thing. And you don't even notice how hard you're working because like you're so in it. And then on top of that, we have a new assistant coach, Lizzie Ott, and she's just amazing. Like, you can tell, so she graduated in 2021, I believe. And she's an amazing coach. You can tell she's an amazing lacrosse player, and her advice on defense is like amazing, and it's very inspiring to be better, you know.
Yeah, that's a great question that I want to ask now is about Lizzie Ott. So she played for the program from 2017 to 2021. What sort of credence does that give her as when you're talking to her as a student athlete, saying she walked the walk, so now she can talk the talk?
Yeah, it's really amazing. I think she has really good insight on like how we're doing emotionally, especially with the block plan. And so she gives really good advice. Like, there's yoga and she's always telling us to do it, and she's also constantly offering like academic advice. Like, if we have papers we need help with, she'll help us like edit those, and she's just a really amazing person in general. I feel super comfortable like going to her for any kind of advice.
And with your season starting in a couple of weeks, describe some goals that you have for this year. This is your last go-around here on the Hilltop. What are some of those bucket list things that you hope to accomplish here in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always a lot of emphasis on statistics in sports, and so obviously just kind of upping my statistics from last year. But on top of that, I really just want to enjoy this last season. I think it's getting kind of bittersweet. It's like all coming to an end, and I don't know how it happened so quickly. And so I really just want to like enjoy it and not let it go by too quickly.
So now going class by class here with your roster in 2025, describe what exactly the freshman class has brought, because they have all that fresh energy that they bring into the program, and describe some of those individual impacts that have been made so far.
It's super great to see. I think it was a little daunting at first knowing we only had 3 freshmen coming in and we have such a small team, but I think they're making such a huge impact. Like, they bring more than what you think 3 people could. All 3 of them have such great experience from high school. You can tell they have pretty high IQs and really great work ethics, and it's just really exciting to see. And along with that, they have really good mentalities with the sport. Like I said, Ava's always like cheering on her teammates and telling them like goldfish memory, you know, when mistakes happen. And Layla's got so much energy and she gets so excited. Like, if somebody scores a goal on her, she's happy for them, she's excited for them, and she's ready to work hard to save it next time, and it's so great. And then Natalie, man, she is fast. Like, she holds me accountable for trying to keep up with her and vice versa, and I'm so excited to see, especially over the next 4 years, what they accomplish, because I think they have such bright futures.
That's fantastic. And now going in from those freshmen to the sophomores in their second season with the program, what exactly have they done to step up their game in year 2?
Yeah, I think they've already been great mentors for the freshmen, really great examples on the team, and the improvement is crazy. Like, Autumn Hirsch, even from fall ball to now, she has improved so much. And so like I said, like with these young players, I think they have really, really bright futures. And the same with Maddie. Like, she is just a solid defender. Like, if we're in a drill and I see her playing defense, I'm like, okay, I got to step it up now.
Absolutely. And now going into the junior class. So we're just rising up class by class. So one class behind you, the junior class, what exactly have they brought as now being upperclassmen on the squad?
Yeah, I think like as a step up from the sophomore class, they are also really great leaders. Like, I feel super comfortable. I know I am a captain, but I still like value everybody's opinion. And so if I have like questions about things, I feel really, really comfortable going and asking what they think, because I think their views are really important, and they're all very well-rounded. Like, they're great students, great athletes, and they're super close, and I think that makes the team more of a family.
Yeah, and now going into your class, the senior class, describe your relationship with your fellow seniors and 5th year, Cheyenne Greenenwald.
Yeah.
Describe what that relationship is like among you guys.
Yeah, I mean, in a good way, it makes me kind of sad because I've grown so close with them over these past 4 years, and I think we're really, really tight-knit because we've had so much time to build these relationships, and it makes me really excited for season because I think the relationships off the field translate on the field, you know, building that trust and knowing how hard they work. So I'm really excited, but I'm also really sad. It's kind of tough knowing this is our last season together, but I'm so excited. Like, I just think this year is going to be amazing.
Can't wait to see you guys out there at Vandermeter Field and beyond here on the Hilltop this 2025 season. So as you mentioned earlier on in this podcast, you entered college without really an idea of what you wanted to major in and go into career-wise.
Yeah.
What has that evolution been like for you here on the Hilltop, and where do you want to go after graduation?
Yeah, so that's kind of a tough question. I'm still kind of figuring it out, but I've done so much like experimenting with majors and minors throughout my time. So I was interested in kinesiology for a little bit, and that's how I became an SMA. And then I was like, maybe I want to be in the education department, and I've taken some economics classes, and I finally settled on art classes because I was like just thinking I need to do something I'm passionate about. Because it's going to be like the rest of my life. And so the art classes are really where I felt like I was just so invested in it, and I was having so much fun and learning a lot. And so I'm an art major now, and I've dropped all the other majors and minors. I almost could have gotten a kinesiology minor, but I just did a little too much switching around. So yeah, and it's really exciting for me. Right now I'm working on my independent project, and I'm making a children's illustrative book, but kind of with my life like wrapped into that, and like self-discovery. That's like a really big theme in it, and childhood and nostalgia.
Well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you on finding that path that you're really passionate about, and that's really powerful that you can do here on the Hilltop, here with the block play. And you can experiment with different majors and figure out what is really right for you.
Yeah.
One final question that I have for you, following up on that SMA work that you were able to do. What did that give you as far as a perspective on other athletes' lives here on the Hilltop, and how does that apply to your own athletic journey?
Yeah. I think it's really interesting because I've gotten to work really closely with all the athletic trainers within the department, especially Alyssa. She's definitely she's our main trainer, and I've definitely worked the most with her with women's soccer, and it's really interesting to see how practices look from an outsider perspective, if you were to remove yourself off the field and see it from a broader view. And it's really interesting to see how teams work as a whole. Because I feel usually during practice I'm pretty aware of the team, but I feel everybody's usually in their own little view, in their own lens, and so it makes me think more in a wide range of my team and all the other teams. And it's really interesting to see the athletic training side of it. Those athletic trainers, they work so hard, and I have so much respect for them because they work to the bone, so super early mornings, super late nights, and so I've grown a lot of respect for them.
That's awesome. So great that you were able to get that experience.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Meg Lewis, for taking the time on this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Jack.
All right, and best of luck to Meg and the Rams as they go into this 2025 season in a new conference with some fresh faces, some familiar faces as well. We'll be following along here on the Hilltop Sports Report, cheering on the Rams, and you should too, following along on CornellRams.com. Well, speaking on behalf of the entire sports information crew here at Cornell College and Meg Lewis, my very special guest on this episode, my name is Jumpin' Jack Carlson, signing off and saying thank you so much for watching, and that I'll see you next time.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!